Hi all. My name is Harshad Bongale. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all for being the part of Udacity, and I would like to be your mentor and be the part of this journey as well. Something about myself: I recently got the scholarship from Google and Udacity for this Android Nano degree course. It was very nice for me to work with all the different students all over the world and got to learn from them. There are different forums that we worked on, for example Slack and Udacity forums. It was all the collaboration tool there, and we were explaining how what we did in the project, and if someone has any difficulty, the questions were getting answered there. We will see what we are going to cover in the today's topic. Like we all know, there are lots of Android applications today in the market. Some of you must have used most of them, and must be wondering how to create your own application. If you want to see, we will get started today, and we'll see how to create an application from scratch. Something about myself, as I said, my name is Harshad Bongale. Got the scholarship recently and completed the Android Nano degree course. For me, Android experience is like 8+ years. Currently working for one of the MNC, for one of the reputed bank in UK, on their mobile application. Okay, Android Studio is the IDE that we require to get started with the Android application development. So it comes a lot of inbuilt tools that we can get started with. So if you just search for the Android Studio bundle on the Google, you will get a link. Probably I can share that with you, and it comes with the built-in SDK, and it is pretty much ready for you to start the Hello World program if you just create a new Android program there. Yeah. Constant layout. I think today we are going to cover the constant layout topic. Basically, it is a layout provided by the Android support repository. It is very flexible and easy to use. So it provides a very good graphical user interface to us, so we can basically drag and drop the views on the screen, and we can provide the constraints are basically there are 4 types of constraints: top, left, right, and bottom. When we say constraint, the constraints are with respect to the other views that we are having. So let's say we will go deeper into that probably later on this. If you want to check if we are having the constraint layout support or not, we can follow this path. Repository, we can go to the tools, Android SDK tools. Under that you will see support repository and constraint layout. If it is not there, or if it is not installed for some reason, we can install that. And there is a build.gradle file that we need to add dependency to. So implementation so this code snippet, probably you might not be understanding it, but this is the minimum requirement that we need to do as of now. We will go deeper into this as we move along and go forward with it. Without doing anything else, it's better to start the demo. We'll jump straight into the demo. Once you are done with the Android Studio setup and created a new Android project, you will see something like this. This is the folder structure. We will see what it means later on. But first of all, to get a basic understanding, we got a drawable folder where we store the XMLs, drawable XMLs if you have any, or the PNG or JPEG files if we need to use that as an asset. Then there is a layout folder here. Basically, whatever the Android views we draw, that is the part of XML. So the XML gets rendered into the activity. So main activity is the source code where you usually write the business logic, and that uses the activity main XML that I just mentioned. It refers to that. So to get started, we will see what is there in Android activity main. So we'll see that it has populated the constraint layout here. So to check if we can use this constraint layout, we can go to Tools, SDK Manager. Under Android SDK, we can find SDK Tools. Okay. So if you can see, I got the constraint layout for Android under the support library. So I'm good to use this constraint layout. Also, if I go to the apps build, I can see the constraint layout is mentioned here. Okay. So if I go to my XML, as I can see, there is nothing at the moment. Like I said, there are different types of layout. So constraint layout is the recent one provided by the Android support repository. There were a few like relative layout or linear layout, frame layout that we used to earlier. But the constraint layout is has so much advantages that we'll see. So let's say we are creating a view, one with the image here. And then we have a start button somewhere around here, and then some information about the that image. Let's consider the workout example. So we'll just drag and drop the image view here, and for easy use, I think I have downloaded one workout JPEG file that we'll use. So it has quickly populated that. So constraint layout, as I said, there are 4 constraints, as you can see here, that we can assign. So let's say I want to stick this top of this image view to the top edge of the screen. So I had created one constraint. Another constraint is left to the left of the screen, and then right to the right of the screen. Like this. In order for constraint layout to work properly, we need to have minimum 2 constraints assigned. So once it is done, it has added some default padding or margin over here. We can see here that 8 dp is the default padding. If we just go over here, we can see that default margin is 8 dp. So I don't want any a margin here, so I'll set that to 0. Right, also 0. Also this image is too big for my screen, so I'll say I'll hardcode the image size as 250 dp. We will look more into what is DP or DIP, that is density display independent pixels, or device independent pixels, sorry for that. So I think we are good with the 3 constraints. If I go into the layout XML, I can see the workout as his image is added, and it has created some constraint for the edges of the screen. I don't want to use the source compat, so I'll just use the background, Android background workout, and I'll just remove this. Okay, looks good. Now we want to create a star or favorite button here. If we wanted to do that with relative layout, usually the way is to hard code it, and there was no way to have this button exactly center aligned. With constraint layout, it is very much easy to do that. So I'll add an image view here. Let's say star. I'll add this star, for example. Okay. Now also star, I want the fixed height like 50 dp width and 50 dp height. I'll just place this in the center. As of now, even if it is looking center, it doesn't have any constraint. So if we try to run this as it is not going to look properly on the screen. So I'll just create a constraint top to the bottom of the image view and bottom to the again bottom of the image view. So see, sorry, bottom to the bottom of the image. So it has exactly aligned to the center. We can also create the right constraint here and give some right margin like 40 dp. So yes, it is in the place. So even if you try to move this image, we can see that is not affecting the position of the star. Okay, this looks good. We can again drag and drop some text views over here. I want it to look like something like this. I wanted to say which workout it is and how much repetitions I need to do for that. Okay, so to start with the left one, I can say okay, this needs to be to the bottom of this image and left of this text view should be aligned to this. Left margin will say 72 dp. Usually for Android that is the back button margin, and from top I think we'll give 80 dp. Yeah, pretty much there. This text view, there is another baseline alignment we can do. So if I click here, you can see the baseline we can do here, and I wanted this baseline to align to this. Okay, again if I want, I can create left and right constraint as well. Left to the left of this and right to the right of that. Okay, here we can see that is the wrap content. We can change it to fixed width. Currently it is taking 59 dp, or the match parent. Okay, after doing match parent, I want some margin here, so I'll say 40 dp or even more, 80 dp. Looks good. Okay, the constraint is done. Again, this I can either align to left, but I always want this below this text view, so I'll align this left of the text view to the left of the top text view, and then clear the padding because I don't need any. Okay, now this text view, either I can the left of this text view I can align to this, or the top one. We'll see which one is better. So first of all, I'll align this to the left of this view, and then right of this text view to the edge of the screen, and then again do the match parent. Okay, and again like 80 dp margin as we have above. Okay, so if you see now, if I try to move this text view, let's see how it is looking. Okay, so it is just the about to text views are having the constraint with each other, but this text view doesn't look like it is moving. So we'll see one more time. Yeah, so yeah, all the text views are having constraint on each other. So I'll just add some descriptive text, so I can change the text here, like workout name, repetitions I want, and let's say workout name planks, and repetitions I will say 15 seconds. Okay, now see, this layout has constraint on this, so it is the left of this text view is to the right of this text view, and having the 80 dp margin, but that's not working as we want. So we'll align the left of this text view to the left of this text view and clear the default padding, sorry, margin. Okay, so this looks how we want. So even if we move this, and and the top of this to the this, and margin, let's say 40 dp. Oh wait, we can do the base alignment here. So the base of this we can align to this, and it is always going to be sticking together. Let's see now. Okay, so I think we are pretty much there. So we can do have some attributes here. So let's say, for example, I want to make this text bold. So if I scroll to the bottom, and I can say text style, I can make it bold. For this also I want to make bold. Okay, this looks good. So as we see, there are a lot of things that we can do to the constraints. So we have guidelines, vertical and horizontal guidelines, and the barriers that we will look to cover this in the next section. There are a lot of more things that we can do. We can try to get this image from the internet. Currently we are using the one from this resource directory. We can use the libraries like Picasso and all to directly fetch this image from the internet, and even more to do with the constraint layout that we are looking forward to do or complete in the next session. So I'm looking forward to work with you all, and I'll ask you guys to explore the constraint layout. What are the things that we can do? I'll leave this to you for now, and in next section, if you have any queries or doubts, we can look into that. Also, if you are facing any issues setting up the Android SDK or the Android Studio, we can address those issues in the next session. Hope to see you all in the next session. Bye.